In the previous video, I created this head cage, which is built on top of a basic sculpt. I now need to start filling in the gaps so we get a full surface on it. It's going to be a bit of work. We can start looking at the eye over here. Probably need a little bit more space to get stuff in here. But this looks like this. It's actually pretty easy to fill in. We can do this, for instance. Oop. So let's turn off X-ray for a second so I do not accidentally select the back. There we go. And this should go over here. Snap it. You see, I accidentally pulled the thing from the back. I did not want to do that. Go back over there. This looks like an easy to fill hole. We could start building one by one, but we can also go and leave the Polybuild tool, hit Alt to select the edge. I should actually be in edge selection. Then go into face and do a grid fill. And it will just fill in that area over there because I made sure that all the sides were equal. So that's a really quick way to get extra geometry in. It's not going to work everywhere, but some spots it might work. Now here we got an interesting problem, issue, thing to work with. Let's go back into Polybuild. This is a nice edge loop over here, and we could just connect these. But there's more over here than there are over there. How are we going to fix that? Probably we can actually use some extra here. So let's just throw one extra edge loop in there and pull these back a little. We definitely need an extra edge in here, so I'm going to immediately go and cut an extra edge in here as well. I could actually slide it over to where I want it because it needs to be closer to there. Then what do we do out here? Back into Polybuild. We do not have enough detail here to get nicely around. So yeah, why not throw another edge loop in there? And now see if we can connect these nicely. That doesn't look half bad. So we got two up here. Continue building nice edge loops. I already see that I don't have enough geometry there, but we'll fix that later. So don't go too small too early. Keep your polygons relatively big. You can very easily get smaller polygons in later by adding edge loops if you do it cleverly. Oh, I already created this bit of an issue here. There's a 5-point polygon. That's not going to work. Let's put one extra edge loop in there and see if we can make it work like this maybe. It's going to be the nostril. So this might actually need to be closer to here. Add another edge in here. And then fill this polygon like this. So we get a bit of a nostril kind of shape in there. Can we now connect this immediately over here? I'm not entirely sure. So the nose is the first point where it starts getting a little bit messy. I really want a edge loop around this nostril, and it's now going up here. We can test that by going into select mode. If you alt click on an edge, it will select the edge loop like this, and it goes in there. We want this to go around here. This edge loop is okay. This edge loop goes all the way down there, so that's great. But I would need an extra edge in here. I'm just going to try and cut something, because that's sort of the edge loop I want in there. going around the nostril. But this creates a triangle over here. We do not want that. So I need to get rid of this triangle. I can do that by simply merging it. So now I do sort of get the intended loop around the nostril. I still have the issue that I've got one polygon here that I need to dissolve. And then the decision I need to make is whether I want to put an extra edge loop in the mouth, which I already did earlier, or if I can get away with putting I can actually probably do this. Put it up there. The nostril is still complete. And then pull this out a little, get this out here. Snap. And this is now a 4-point polygon. Yes, I will be needing more detail later. If you got your edge loops built nicely, you can easily throw in extra edge loops later. But there's no geometry on my sculpt to build a nice nostril in here. And I am going to run into an issue that I have not the same amount of edges here. Now, I might not care about not having the same amount of edges here because I'm going to build a nostril and it's going to go in. Going in means you can have probably a triangle in there in the nostril somewhere. So I'm going to cheat, going to select mode and selecting the edge loop, holding down Alt, boop, then extrude that, hitting E, and immediately hitting S to scale it in. And there we got something that could become a nostril. I'm not going to fill it in yet because the sculpt won't allow me to go in. So while I'm doing polymodeling, not entirely happy about the result yet, but it's a good start. And Blender just crashed. Blender crashed, so remember to always increment and save a lot. I had to reconstruct what I did. It's slightly different on the nose, but it's the same idea. I'm just going to continue filling in the rest of the head. And if you can get one more edge loop into your eyes, that's not bad at all. These polygons are getting kind of huge, but I'm probably going to subdivide those. It's not a full edge loop, it goes into the head over there, but it's close. Probably need to put an extra edge loop in here because this one is getting really elongated. So just plop one in there. And same over here probably. To catch the full shape, I need to add one in there. Okay, so now I need to start filling in the rest of the shape. We sort of need to get rid of some polygons as we go up over the head. We don't need the same size polygons on the top as we need in the face. So we want to starting to get rid of some of the polygons as we do this. We want to try and keep it to quads though. So we can probably do this and then put a quad in here. Still flows across the head, but this now gets a little bit bigger. Here we go like this. Look at that. We can put a bigger polygon in here and get rid of an edge loop. Yay. This didn't quite snap. Uh-oh. I'm not quite getting there. Because I have a 5-point polygon here. I could easily fill this in. But then I get a triangle. I can't make it much bigger, the polygons over there. You can try and siphoning off the triangle, but I probably, well, this is getting too large, is it? There's a triangle up there now. So I think I need to add extra edge in here. And I'll think I'll do it like this. There we go. Not perfect, but it works. Then back here, we got the same kind of issue. So we just start going to fill this in over here. And we can start with relatively large polygons and then cut them if we need to. Make sure everything snaps. These might be a little big, but we're going to see what happens. Yes, I think I need a little bit more detail. They are all quads, but they get rather huge out here, so I might just want to do a little bit. That might actually work. This might be a good point to save first and leave edit mode for a second and X-ray and turn off the sculpt for a second just to check and throw in a subdivision surface modifier to see if it subdivides nicely. Not too crappy. So I do not want to see my subdivision modifier in edit mode, so I'm going to turn that off. Enter edit mode again, turn my sculpt back on, and X-ray back on and see where I am in filling this in. So from here, that's actually basically still part of the cage structure. We need to go back and pull a thing around the back of the sort of the underside of the skull where the skull hits the neck. Using sort of the same amount of polygons that we got up there. So here we're going to definitely need an extra. We can't put that just in one big polygon up here. So this means we need to get rid of a polygon somewhere. Or, which might, in this case might be easier, just cut this polygon open in select mode. This is not snapping yet. Wait a second. Snap. There we go. Select mode, edge, alt, select the edge thing, face, grid fill. That works. Then go back into poly mode just to tweak it a little. Okay, we're getting there. Here we need to probably make this go down like this. And then again, we have this issue that we have one polygon, two over there, one over there, and oh, we got a loads up there and way less down here. We might be able to get away with this. No, that looks interesting, but it will give us issues later if we want to deform the neck, if we want to bend it. So we're probably stuck getting a few more polygons in here. So we need one extra down here and ooh, 3, that's a lot. So it is probably cleanest to just put 2 extras in here and not try to siphon off an edge loop, as that will give issues later if you want to ever bend the neck. Almost there, filling in the holes. So we can pull out one by one. We can also go into select mode, hit edge, select a whole bunch of these edges, and just extrude them out to get an immediate edge loop. Then go into Polybuild mode and just pull them into place. You probably do need that extra edge loop underneath the chin. But then here we can go straight down. Now we again have the issue, there's 2 down here and 1 down there. Let's see if we can get rid of one more. This looks rather big. Yeah, those gets too big out there, so I'm going to just shift this one over. Get me an extra edge loop in here. This is still rather large. Don't like this one. I'm going to hit shift and get rid of this polygon. Yeah, siphoning off is not really an option at this point. So it looks like we do need to go and, oh, that's the wrong one. Add some more polygons in here. There we go. Does not look like excessive detail in the neck to me. We might want to push these out a bit nicer. Evenly distribute the polygons. Almost there. We got one more hole to fill. Ear we'll deal with later. That's a whole different ball game. So ideally you want to get the points where everything, like more points come together in places where there's the least amount of deformation likely. That might work. Let's see if we leave edit mode and turn off the sculpt. Turn off X-ray. Yeah, we can make this work. So I've got all the major things filled in now. I never fixed the center line though. You see, there's not all on 0. Oh, and there's a big gap in here. What's happening here? Oh, I pulled a point completely off kilter. Let me fix that. Turn on the sculpt again. X-ray. This point, I've seen Polybuild, should be out. Oh, not that point. This point should be out here, and this point should be out here. There we go. So I do have the basic shape now filled in. It looks okay in subdivided mode. There's an issue with the center line, but I'll post that in a separate video because that's something you will encounter a lot, and that technique would be easy to reference in just a very short single video.